topic. Like if you look at week 8, right, it is just regarding recursion, how to implement recursion. Okay. And then the week 9 is all about handling files. And then similarly, the week 10 will be discussing this object-oriented programming, right? So the later weeks they are not that difficult, but then they could contain like at max of 50% of the weightage. Okay.
Right. So thank
In the
you.
OPP. Okay.
But sir, if a question is asked on recursion in OPP, then and if we solve that in other way, not using recursion, then it will be
Can you
fine.
repeat?
Or if question is asked on recursion and if we solve that question not using recursion in with the other method, then will it be fine or then?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you entirely correctly, but I guess you're trying to say that the question is regarding recursion. Should we be using only recursion, or can we solve it normally? That's your question. Is that a question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it is always better. Like you should be doing it only using recursion. Okay. So what we do is we sometimes check for whether you are implementing recursion or not. If you would have seen already this BK, right? There will be
Yes.
checking whether you are actually writing a recursion function or not. It's not just the it's not just the output that matters. Okay, you
Okay.
should not just be getting the right answer. You should also be implementing it as a recursion. Okay.
In OPP also you check that recursion is used or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other
And
question?
if it is not mentioned, actually, we can select any methodology that is discussed in the
Yeah,
whole
if they-
syllabus, sir, for answering
If they did
questions.
not mention recursion, then you could just solve it whichever way you want to. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So how did your OPP on exam go? How is your OPP on exam?
Sir, it was easy, sir. When will the results for OPP 1 will be released, sir?
It will be released soon, like next week it will be released.
Okay, sir.
Truly, it is easier, but I'm not able to do my best, sir.
Sir, it's all from the graded assignment, I think so, sir. Almost 2 questions was from graded assignments.
That differs from person to person. For some you could be getting like 2, and for few they might not be getting any questions. So it's kind of like randomized. So yeah, it depends. Okay? It varies from person to person. Like
So,
how many questions of graded you're getting.
sir, means every person has different questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost different. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, may I
But
ask a question?
they could be. Huh?
Hello.
Yeah, Shailendra.
Sir, I couldn't appear in the OPP 1 due
Okay.
to the some technical problems.
Okay.
So, what is the way out? How I can reappear in the OPP 1, or I have to appear in the OPP 2 only? That is the only answer.
Yeah, so unfortunately, appearing in OPP2, that is the only option that is available. You must be appearing in the OPP2 exam for you to be receiving grade. Okay, if you do not attend this OPP2 also, then you will not be receiving the grade for the Python course.
Okay. So OPP 2 is the only answer.
Yeah.
And the boss
And
actually, no percentage is also there.
Second question, sir. Whether on the 10th July, second quiz, whether Python will be there or not?
The quiz two, we do not have the Python exam. Okay, we do not have the quiz 2 exam on 10th of July.
So
There's only going to be one more OPP2.
that's all.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to have OPP2 as well as final quiz exam.
Okay, that in that final quiz exam there will be Python.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so let us discuss the concepts of weakness. Okay, so me share my screen first. I'll explain this using Replit. Okay. So, or else what I'll do is I'll just discuss it. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So let me just share my screen now. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first thing, we have this file, right? Which is defined here as this sample.txt. Okay. So first thing, like the reason for using this. Okay, so why do we need to use files actually? I mean, why should we be handling files in Python? Can someone? Yeah.
We can
To access the
handle
file, big file.
Deal big data
DBs.
file.
I'm not able to hear you properly. Can you repeat it again?
I told you, sir, by file method we can use access big data. How to write? How to the? Is this correct? I think not.
To store large amount of data in a mannered way and to access them properly whenever they need it.
Storing large amounts of data, that will be done by the file itself, right? I was talking about why do we need to do this file handling in Python? Like, why do I need to be like looking at those files and like where, like for example, let's say I have a text file, right? I could just directly open a text file and then like perform operations on it. Or let's say I have some CSV file, I could do the operations on Excel itself, right? Excel or Google Sheets. Why do I need to use Python? For like reading a file or like accessing the contents of the file. Why do I need to use Python? Okay, like
Good question, but that question comes to my mind, but I didn't get the answer. So I thought that to access the big data, that's why they learn.
In Python, there are some specific libraries wherein they can help handling very big files as well as getting the expected results, means a specific kind of outputs, what we can expect. That would be something like pandas.
Yeah, right. So what you said was correct. Yeah, right. Any
Sir,
other?
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
ask one question?
Is this regarding the file handling?
Yes.
Yeah, you can ask now.
Actually, I want to know that when I should import package and when I should not import package. Like uh, import pandas as PD. Like professor says that import random, then use random function. But if I don't use import random, again I use random.randint or any function, it will work. So I have a confusion that when I am going to use import statement and when I will not use import statement.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. So like, let's say if apart from the built-in libraries, right, which you need not be like importing, there are going to be certain libraries which you need to be importing, and once you import them, you'll be able to use those right away, right? For example, like you cannot be directly using calling upon this pandas data frames or like others, right, without actually importing the pandas library. So you should be importing those libraries which cannot be directly accessed by Python. Okay, so those you should be importing. Okay, clear? Like
If I
that.
use import pandas as PD
Uh,
in our portal, suppose I am solving one question in GRPA 1 or 2 or anything else,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there if I write import pandas as PD, then it will work.
yeah. Then it will work. But then one important thing I want to say is, do not use pandas because pandas does not work properly in our portal. Like it executes, okay, your code executes, but then the output, right, the output might not be what you expect. Okay, it kind of like works, it does not work properly. Okay, it'll get imported, but then it doesn't work properly. Okay, so that is why do not use pandas, okay, while
That
solving the
means in
GRPA
our
problem.
all the GRPA programs, we should not use Panda. Normally, we just do file handling program.
Yeah, like if you use pandas, you might not be getting the correct answers. Okay, even though your logic is correct, you might not get the correct answers. Okay, we have looked at these cases previously. That is why we are saying please do not use pandas. Okay, now coming back to this question of like, why do we need to handle files in Python, right? Yeah, as one of the students has told, right, we let's say you want to do some analysis on like you want to perform some operations on, let's say like you have let's say I get your entire data. Okay, I mean I got your entire OPP data, and then among them maybe I want to look at the people who answered a particular question. Okay, like how much percent of the people have answered this particular question and they are able to run it successfully, right? Maybe I want to look at that. Like that is one particular question, and similarly I would want to do like so many complicated analysis kind of thing. Okay, for example, let's say how did the people from a particular state did, okay, like how did they perform. Okay, or let's say how did a particular gender, right, perform in the OPP exam, or let's say in a particular data itself. Okay, so it is even though you could do it somehow, like not all, but some parts of it can be done in Google Sheets or Excel, right? It cannot be done as quickly or like as I mean as well as Python. Okay, so Python it gives you like, I mean, using the libraries or using just the built-in functions, right? You could just be doing so many operations, okay, on this. So that is why we'll be using this Python for this handling files. Even if you look at the data science, right? When we talk about data science, we generally talk about lots of data, right? So for handling the data, when I mean by handling, what I mean is like for reading and then like for looking at the data for inferences, right? We need to be using we need to be using some software or like something, right? So for that Python is one of the best way, right? Okay.
So is there something wrong with the portal sometimes? Like when I submit, uh, I get an error, and without making any changes, I submit again, and I get all the test cases as right.
Okay, so when you submit it, it does not work properly. But then if you do not change code and then run again, it works. It runs successfully by
Yeah,
passing all test cases.
yeah, exactly like that.
That doesn't work actually. And this is the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Maybe you would have. What exactly are you getting? You're getting 0 out of 5 test cases or something like that. Is it?
No, when I submitted first, it was like 3 out of 5, and then all 5 test cases were passed.
Okay, that will not be the case. Maybe you would have done something. You did not change the code, not even a single space, indentation, nothing.
No, also when I ran the test cases, only one of the 2 were being passed. So I did not bother changing the code again and submitted, and at that point, all the 5 private test cases were passed, and also the public test cases were passed.
This is the first time I'm hearing this, so I'm not entirely sure. Okay.
Okay.
So, but then generally this doesn't happen.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So yeah, like now that we established, right? So for this, we just say that we can use Python, right, to do analysis. And look at perform operation, okay? In a simple, elegant way. Okay, like we just write some few lines of code to do so much so much of complicated exercises, right? Which generally you need to do using the calculator or Google Sheets. Okay, so that is why we'll be using these files. And then coming to the next one, how do you exactly read file? Okay, so reading a file is easy. Like all you need to do is you just need to call that particular one. So let's say like open. If you could see here, it actually shows you the code here. Okay, open file mode. This buffering, encoding errors, all the data, it's not required for us. So right now, all we need to worry about is what is the file name of it. Right now, I have this file called sample.txt. Okay, so I just open that. I just mention that sample.txt, and then the mode is this. Whether do you want to just whether do you want to just read the file and then like write that particular file. Okay, and then like you have the different modes too. Okay, so in this particular case, we do not want to modify the contents of the file. All we want to do is I just want to read the file. I mean, read the data that is there in the file. Okay, so what this open is a function, right? It returns, since we are equating it to f, right? It returns a file object. Okay, so basically what does this file object mean is that it contains the essential data that is required for us to do operations. Okay, and then the other thing is if you just data equals to, if you call for this f.read, right, it just gives the entire data that was there in the file as a string itself. Okay, the OPP1 result is not yet published. It will be published soon. Okay? It will just give the entire data, right, that is there in the file f. Okay, file f as a string. Okay, so we could even like check for the type of data. Let me run this. before I run this, I just want to show like my file has just this 5 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each one like different line. Okay, let me just run this.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Most of the time I saw read line and read both as work similar. So is there any
What,
difference
read line or read? No, they do not
I saw
exactly
all
work
times.
similar. We'll
Yes,
discuss it.
Okay. Could you give any example where read line and reads?
Right.
what
I'll give you. So right now we talked about read, right? F.read, right? So it gave away the entire data that was there in the file 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a string. Okay. So
If
it
you
gives
use
one.
read line, that will be work similar.
So no, it doesn't exactly work similar, but then let me
I
show
run
you.
it, but
So, okay. Line equals to f dot read line. Okay. So let me run this. Print line. Okay. Clear? So you're saying that f.read and f.read line both works in same way, right? If they are like supposed to work in the same way, then basically they should be printing the same thing, and then the type of it also should be the same. Okay.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay, sir.
So let us check what you're trying to say. I mean, what you're saying. It's not giving me line equals to type of line. It's not giving away anything. See,
There is read line of 1 you have to write in.
can you repeat?
Read line of 1 we have to mention in.
Read line, that's it. We won't be mentioning read line of 1. Read lines is different, read line is different. Okay, let me run this. Okay, right now you could see here we have this one class str. Okay, one class str, and then f.read, right? It gave away the remaining contents. Okay, I just explain like what has just happened here. So f.read line, what it does is it reads the first line. I mean, there is going to be this pointer. Okay, initially you could consider it like for example, while we are starting this operation, right? Initially the pointer will be at this first line 1. Okay, when we do this f.read line, right, the pointer will move to the second line. Okay, since we have already read this f.read line, the pointer will move to the second line. So if you call this f.read line again, right, now it's going to print 2. Okay, now what this f.read has happened is after the f.read line, right? Let's say initially the pointer is at 1. Okay, now if you call this f.read, it's going to give away the entire data after this pointer. Okay, after this pointer, since like in a particular piece of code, since we have already read the first line, right? That is we have already read the first line. This one. Okay, it's now it will go over to the second line. Okay, now when we're reading it, now when we're calling for this f.read, it's going to give away the entire data after from this particular pointer, that is like 2 itself. Okay.
Sir, after reaching the end of the file, how to reread the file again, sir?
How to reread the
file from 1 to 5 again? For example, here you have written that f.read, and then it types 5 and then class str, and then again I wanted to print like from 1 to 5.
You can do seek, na sir?
May I know how to do that?
Seek. I'm not
F.seek, sir.
F.seek?
Yes, sir. F.seek. That point number you have to say from where you want to have first or second.
Okay, let me just call this. I haven't used this F.seek, but then let's try. Okay.
Number you have to write.
Okay, I just mentioned the first number 0. We print lines.
Number in the sense it's line number, or whether the string value?
Line number.
Yeah, line number. It's given me 0 class int. Okay.
I think you have to write 1, sir. Seek 1.
It has given me the 1. Actually, that is a pointer.
Yes, sir.
No,
It
sir.
will tell the. Now it will go from there.
Yeah. Now let
Yes,
us print f.read line. Okay. So let me remove this f.read. Okay. This has not given me anything.
Or is the only way is to close the file again and open it?
Yeah, closing the file and then opening that works. Seek. Change the stream position to given by offset. Start of the stream offset.
The seek actually gives us the number of characters you're moving ahead.
Even you can go back also. No?
Okay. So please try this again. This is not exactly working. The step.seek. I think should look at this. Okay, but then right now what I will say is once you have read all the contents, right? The only way to open it to open is through this again closing and then opening it again. Okay, right now I will just look at this seek function and then like I will let you know. Okay, I'll post that in the Discord. Okay, right now if you do not want to lose the contents, right, what you could do is you could do it in this way, f.readlines. Okay, so since this will be stored as a list, it will not create like an issue. That is like you can go back to it like at any point of time. Okay, you could go to the start position at any point of time. Okay.
Sir, what's the difference between f.readlines and f.read?
F.read and then f.readlines. F.read it gives away the entire data as a string. Like we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This entire data. It is actually similar to like.
But sir, if you only write read line, that will be also keep a whole like
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
that will give you the whole data, but then that will not be stored as string. It will be stored as a list, actually list of lines. Like for example, the first line will be. I mean, if you're going to do it as like this, right? Then lines will be something like this. Okay, so it's going to be 1/n because
no sir,
we are reading the
not
line.
read lines, read line. I run the read line, then it is given for example I wrote n equals to input, then I input 6, that will be given 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 6.
You're talking about read line or which one?
Yes, read lines. Yeah, then I
Read lines.
also run,
Read
yes,
line,
run by
it gives away each line as a element of a list. Like for example, here we have 5 lines, right? All of this,
yes.
each line, right? This 1/n, it will be given as first element, 2/n, 3/n, 4/n. But for the 5th line, you just have 5, right? Basically, this will be given as a each element kind of thing. Like this will be the first element, second element. Like similarly, let me just run this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then that will be easier to understand. Okay, so you could just see this, whatever data we have, right? The first line was given, the second line, and basically it just breaks down the entire data by the number of lines we have. Okay, so the first line content will be there in the first element, second line, third line, and so on. Okay, what this read line does is gives away the each line one by one. Like each time you call, like for example, line 1 will be f dot read line, and then line 2 will be f dot read line again, because now the pointer will move to the second line. Okay. Similarly, you could call this f dot read line until the end of the file. Okay. Now this line 4 equals to okay. Let me just print this. Print line 1. I'll not print your entire data. I'll just print this line 1, line 2.
So the last read line spelling is
6 number.
Okay. It has given me the extra space because by default we have this end equals to /n, right? By default, in the print statement we have this end equals /n, and then this line 1 already contains one /n. Okay, we have this 2 /n. That is why we are having this empty space here. Okay, between 1 and 2 we are having this extra empty line. Like if you remove this end equals to like nothing, right? Like the empty string, then it's going to be like without this. I need to remove here also.
If we don't put end is equal to anything, then what will happen?
Yeah, then if you don't put end equals to anything, then you'll have this extra empty line kind of thing. Like it will just print an extra empty line. Okay.
If we don't write anything, even then it will give an empty space.
Yeah. If you do not write this end, that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, because by default end equals to /n, right? There is default value. Default value for end is /n. That is why it's going to give you the new empty line, even if you do not mention what the end is. Okay. So the best way to do is, let's say I do not want to worry about this. I just want one. Okay, I do not want the /n. What you could do is you could do the strip. Okay, strip. Right. What the strip does is it removes the space and then the /n at the beginning, at the end, and at the end. So let me just do this. Right now I'll give end as space. Okay, instead of empty line, right? I'll give end as space here. I need not worry about it. Let me run this now. We got this one space too. Okay, because we
remove the /n.
Yeah, we removed the /n from the line 1, and as well as we mentioned end as space and instead of /n. Okay. Clear?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, if you don't mention anything in like strip, I thought we had to mention \n in strip.
No, if you do not mention anything, by default it's going to remove all those things. Like for example, let me just have this s equals to, I'll have some space. Okay, space Python space and then /n. Okay, this is my end s. Okay, I'll print s now, and then I'll print s dot strip. Okay, let me run this. You could see here, right? We got this Python, and then because of this extra /n, there is a space here. But then when we're doing the strip, when we're doing strip here, it removed the spaces at the end. That is why we're able to do it this way, right? Okay, clear?
Okay, sir. Okay, got it.
It removes the space as well as the slash and all. Okay. Okay.
Sir, this read line is a string or an integer?
Read line is a string. Like you could just check this print type of line one. Run this str. Okay.
Although in the text file we had just typed numbers or integers without putting them in quotes, still it takes it as a string.
By default, the entire data that was there, right, that will be taken as a string. Okay, like whenever you're reading a file, whatever contents that was there, that will be considered as a string. Like for example, it is just similar to how we do this for input, right? When we access for s equals to input, right? No matter like even though you get
Yeah.
either one as an input, that input will be considered as a string.
By
right?
default, yeah.
Yeah. By default, in a similar way, like this Python is not intelligent enough, like to look at the data and then like convert this to integer or like based on what the value it is, right? It's difficult. So by default, it's going to be taken as a string. Okay.
And
Like,
here we're opening only a text file. Is it only a text file that we can open, or it could be any other type of
yeah, it could be opening
file extension?
Yeah, you could be opening different kinds of like file extensions. Yeah, could open the CSV file also. You do not have
Excuse me,
CSV
sir.
file. Yeah,
Sir, for the strip method,
I'm not able to hear you properly.
sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, we're audible.
Okay, sir. Sir, the method used in line number 13, the sitrip, strip method. So, sir, does this only remove spaces around the string or spaces between the strings? So, if I am writing,
It doesn't remove between, so you can just check this now. Okay, I added spaces between
yes,
Y
sir.
and D. Doesn't remove the spaces between Y and D. Just remove the starting and the end. Okay, you can have this file.
Comment.
Okay, you could see here, even though we stripped it, right, the in-between spaces, that was not removed.
Yeah.
Only the starting and the ending portions, that will be taken care, not the in-between contents. In-between whatever we have, it doesn't matter. I mean, basically the strip doesn't take care
The
of it.
structure of the string will be maintained.
Yeah.
So what if it's a series of words? How will it identify the start and end?
Like even if it is a series of words, that doesn't matter, right? Like let's say.
Okay, the
you're
spaces
talking about
in
string,
between
right?
will be.
Yeah. So let's say.
Okay, got it.
World is a better place, something, right? Okay, world is a better place.
Sir, can we use Excel file also?
For what?
For opening the file.
Yeah, for opening the file, just example sample dot if we are having any Excel file.
Yeah, that can be done. Right. So you could see here that it is just a bunch of words. Like, I mean, we know that it is a bunch of words, right? But for Python, it is just a simple text, okay?
Yes,
it doesn't
sir.
matter for it like whether it's a bunch of words or just a single word, right?
Okay, sir, got
it. It doesn't know that, okay? Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. If supposing in a text file I keep typing, continuously just letters without any spaces, without entering, that means not entering into a new line. Then if I do f dot read line, then what does it take?
It just gives you the entire data in a single line itself. Because let's say we have this, right? Instead of this, we're talking something like this, right? And then let's say
yes, we don't have a new line at any point.
6, 7, 8, 9, something like this, and then hello world, Python. Okay, I'll just mention text kind of thing. Let me run this now. Okay. Can I say this?
So even if it was paragraphs and paragraphs at end without any enter pressed new line, so it will give the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like Python just looks for the /n. If there is no /n, the entire data that's going to be given for you as a single line.
First line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like generally these are the key concepts which we need to just look at. The read lines one, the read line, read. Yeah, those are the few important things. And if you just know this, and the strip is important because sometimes while you're printing it, you do not want to have that /n, right? That's why strip is important. So if you just know this, we are like almost good enough to read files and then start solving problems. Okay. And there is this one other thing.
Sir?
Yeah.
So just one doubt, sir. So here in line 10, you're saying print line 2, but there's no line 2. Why didn't it throw an error or anything? Because there's only one line in the...
Yes. So,
Or it should have printed the same thing again.
line 2 is going to be the empty string. Okay. So
Why is there no space at least?
They should
If
have
it's
a
an empty
new line kind of thing. Let me run this again. So when we talk about this, here when I'm printing this line,
Sir, what is the difference between line 1 and line 2? Line 1 dot strip comma end and line 2 dot strip. I cannot find it.
Okay, yeah, like before, right? Once, like you asked, like why we did not print line 2, right? Actually, it has printed because we ended it with this, right? We do not print it. Okay. Clear? Because
it will strip the /n, that means new line character. Also.
Yeah. That's going to be stripped. Okay. Now it's going to print this line about 10 also. Basically, you're going to have this empty thing there. Okay? Yeah, we had here.
Sir, if I write line 1 is equal to line 1 dot strip.
Previously, we had this. Yeah.
Can I write?
Let me just answer this one moment. Okay. One moment. Let me just complete answer this answering this question, and after that I'll come back to it. So before it actually printed this line number 10. It actually executed the line number 10. But then since we had this end equals to space and end equals to space, right? This
so it printed it in the same line.
Yeah.
And we could not notice it.
Since we removed this, we are able to notice it now. Okay.
Okay.
Like, what was your doubt? The other person, right? Shampa, right? What
yes,
was
sir. Sir, can I write line 1 is equal to line 1 dot strip? Can I write in this way?
Yeah. You could write that. Line 1 equals line 1 dot strip. You could write it. You could write this. I mean, if you're doing this, then you need not have this thing again.
Or if I directly use line 1 dot strip is equal to f dot read line, then it will work.
Can you repeat? Line 1 equals to f
line 1 dot strip equal to f dot.
No, it should be equals to line 1 equals to f dot read line dot strip, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
You could strip it here itself. This is okay. Okay. Let me just print this now.
Sir, I didn't understood that end one, sir. Print line 1 strip command and this one. Could you explain again?
Okay. So let me do all this. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay. So then when we are having this f equals to line 1 equals to f dot read line dot strip, okay. Generally, what happens? We have end equals to, let me have this space, okay, and then let me print something like hello, okay. Generally, by default, what's going to happen is when you are printing something, the Python is going to print it, and then it's going to come back to the next line, because end is going to be slash n, which means you print it and then you move the pointer to the next line. Okay, but then here we have specifically mentioned do not end it with a slash n, end it with a space. Okay, so right now what's going to happen is you're going to have this 1 2 3 4 5, it's going to be printed because of this line one dot strip thing, and then we're going to end it with a space, right? And then we're going to print hello. Basically what this means is this 1 2 3 4 5 space hello is going to be printed. Okay, clear? Is this clear, this one?
Yeah, sir, understood. But whereas after line 2 printing also, it printed the same one, no?
So previously what happened is we did this line 2 equals to f dot readline, right? Correct? What is line 2? Line 2 is empty, right?
Yeah, sir, empty.
Line 2 is empty, right? So basically what does this do? It's going to print line 1 dot strip, which is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 space. Instead of hello, it's going to be empty string, and then it's going to come back to the next line. Okay,
right.
That is why you are not able to, you are not able to identify that line 6 is, you thought that line 6 is not executed. Okay, but then it has actually executed since it is empty, and then like you are printing in the same line, you're not able to notice it. If I remove this, right? If I remove that end equals to space, right? Now it's going to print that empty line. Okay, is it clear? There is an empty line here.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Shampa, you are asking a doubt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are asking some doubt before, and I have cut you off.
No, nothing.
Okay. So f dot read lines, f dot read, and then like f dot read line. If you just know this, that's going to be good enough. Okay, and then like writing a file, writing the contents to a file, that needs to know. That is just please mute yourself. Let me have this empty file sample.txt, and then now I'm going to open this, but in the write mode. Okay, until now I did not close the file. Keep closing the file once you're done with everything.
Sir, when we use f dot read line, then along with the line from the file, one extra new line character, that means slash n, is also added always.
Yeah.
But if we use f dot read, then at a time I can read all the files, all the lines.
Yeah, but even there you are having slash n, you're just not noticing it. Basically, let's say we have this here we are not having anything, but let's say we have this 1 2 3 4 5, right? 1 2 3 4 5, but in terms of string, what does this represent? This is nothing but st equals to this, right? 1 slash n, 2 slash n, 3 slash n, 4 slash n, 5, right? Sample text is nothing but this value. This is a sample text, right?
That means it's better to take lines through read line and then strip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Do you need f dot close? Because when you are not write it, that will work fine.
Yeah. That's going to work fine. But then it is just a good practice to follow it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just print. Let me remove this. Now let me run this. Right now the file is empty, and then I'm going to write this 2 and then 3. Okay. I'm not even having spaces or anything. Now it has is 2, 3, right? There's no space, there's no slash in anything. Whatever small minor thing which you need to mention, right? You need to be mentioning it while writing itself. That is, if you want this 3 to be coming in a separate line, that is after 2, if you want the next data to go into a new line, right? You should be mentioning it as slash n. Okay. So if you run it now, it's going to be this 2, 3. Okay. Clear?
If we had put after 3 \n, then we would have a empty line, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
So
yeah.
Practice assignment of week 9.
Not able to hear you.
Sir, in the practice assignment of week 9, I actually had a doubt in question number 12.
Okay, we will solve the practice assignment, the PPA problem. Practice assignment or PPA?
It's a practice assignment.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to understand the question completely because I thought the question number 12, sir.
Yeah,
So this
question number
one.
12.
Yes, sir. So I thought A would be the right answer, but then the question was saying we should not add /n at the end of the when we are writing to a file. We should not add /n. But then answer C was right. The option C is right, and still we are adding a /n at the back. I cannot understand why answer C is right.
If x not equals to n only, then only we are adding this line, right?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise we are doing this. So basically what this says is, if x equals to n, right, what's going to happen? We are not going to have /n, right? We are not going to write /n. We are just going to write line.
Yes, sir.
Is
Sir,
clear?
but it would be doing for every value except the n plus 1's value, na? The
Yeah,
last value
except
that
the end value. Yeah. That's what we want, right?
Okay, sir.
For the last one, we do not want /n, but for the remaining one, we want /n. Okay.
But sir, every option except 2 given same answer.
Oh, okay, sir. Sir, I just got that
No,
intuition.
it
My
doesn't
fault,
exactly
sir.
give you the same answer. There is going to be extra /n here for the first
At
option.
the end,
Run it,
there
but
should be. Okay,
you
sir. I
can
got
run.
that. Got that, sir.
I run it, but
See,
what?
if you run it, you'll not be exactly knowing it. I mean, you'll not be seeing the difference when you're printing it.
Okay. I think yes, that's
For the
okay,
why
sir.
this is the right answer. Okay, sir. Thank you. So it basically, basically we have to not add a forward \n at the bottommost line.
Yes,
Another
yes.
line we can add. Okay, sir. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll now do is we'll take a 5 minutes break and then we'll continue session. After that, we'll solve the PPA problems. Okay. We'll solve few of the PPA problems of week 9. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. We'll take 5 minutes break and then we'll continue.
Sir, if I write just /n.
Sir has taken a break.
Right.
You have to wait for 5 minutes. Hello, everyone. Excuse me, is anyone can talk to me for a second? Hello. Yeah, I wanted to know if anybody has practiced Python other than for programming test or PPS, because I think the OPP was tougher than the questions we are solving in the portal.
Yes, it was tough.
Yeah, means the level of questions in OPP was much better, I would say, than we are solving in PTs, because I solved all the examples and all the programming tests, but they were not up to the mark that.
OPT result published.
No, no, it is not. Well, I think I should use HackerRank kind of a place to practice. Anybody who has practiced somewhere else and can suggest me?
Yeah. So let us continue the session. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. So, I wanted to ask, is Python in quiz 2? Python is going to take place in quiz 2.
No, Python does not have quiz 2. There's no exam on July 10th. Okay.
Sir, when will be the result of OPP 1 will be published?
It will be published next week.
Sorry, sir?
Yeah, next week. I mean, by the end of this week. Okay. By the end of this week, the OP result will be published. Okay. All right. Okay. So I have looked at like we chat, and then some of you have mentioned that the problems in DK, right? The recursion is difficult. So what we'll try to do is we'll solve few problems in weekend, and then we'll solve 2 or 3 problems in recursion. Okay. Clear?
Okay, sir. Sir, I also wanted to say that when we were solving programming tests, additional programming tests, they were not as difficult as the questions asked in OPP. So should we practice from somewhere else like HackerRank or LeetCode, like any other platform, or should we only follow this portal?
You were saying that the problems that were given in the portal, those were not as difficult as OPP. The OPP questions are difficult, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir. The level of the exam, the proctored exam, was much better. Much difficult than the questions we are practicing here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, right, what you could do is I think few questions, they're not as difficult as some of the problems. Like some of the GRPA problems are difficult, and then moreover, look at this practice test programming, right? These questions are difficult. They are not so easy to be solved. Okay, so but then I think you feel it that way because you're giving the exam, and then there is this time constraint, right? Because
Yes,
of
sir.
that pressure, you might be feeling it that way. But we generally feel it is on same level. It's not more than the level of at least GRPS. PPS I can agree. PPS, those are just for like understanding concepts. So PPA problems are generally easier. Okay, the easiest of all. So at least they're like on par with the GRPA. Okay, so but yeah, apart from this, if you want to practice, right, you could practice from any online source. That is totally okay. Like you could be practicing from LeetCode or HackerRank, HackerRank, whichever one, that is totally fine. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So let us look at the PPA one. You should be reading a file named read file that accepts a text file as argument. Within the function, read the file and print each line on separate line. Okay, that's it. You should not print any extra characters at the end of a line. There should be empty line between any 2 consecutive lines. So this is just like printing the data. I mean, printing the contents of the file. I do not think we need to solve this PPA one. Does anyone have doubts in PPA one? Hello. Does anyone have doubts in PPA one, or shall we move ahead? Because PPA one, all we do is we just like printing the data, printing each line. That we have already discussed in the replit itself. Okay. So we'll move on to PPA 2.
So until PPA 6, they were discussed in last session. So maybe we can pick it from PPA 7 also.
It was already discussed in the last
Sir,
session.
could we do PPA 4? I found it a little difficult.
Okay. We'll solve PPA 4 and then we'll move on to PPA 7. Now this file name points to a CSV file that has 2 columns. The first column is name of student. Second is the student says. The first line of the file will be header. Write a function name get dictionary that accepts a file name as argument and returns a dictionary where the keys are student names and values of corresponding age of students. Here it could be doing it. Okay, so here let's discuss the form. I mean, what we should be doing the steps for it. First, we should be reading the file, right? Reading the file. Okay. Ignore the header because it does not contain any information. That is, ignore the first line. Okay. So, and then create empty dictionary. Read each line of the file. The first value, I mean, they are separated by comma, right? So basically, you should be splitting it. Split each line. The first element is a key. This I'll mention. The first element after we have split, right? That will be the key. I mean, which is nothing but the name. First element is name. And the second element is score, right? So use the name and score to create a key value pair, right? Okay, and then return the dictionary. That's it. Okay, these are the steps which we should be following. Okay, we'll discuss PPF5 too. Okay. So these are things which we should do, right? So first thing first, we should be reading file. We just read the file. Is the font size okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So open file name and then I should be reading it. Okay. This file name is already a string. That is why I'm just directly mentioning that name here. Okay. The document and then I'm just using it directly. Okay. So I should ignore the first line, right? So what you should be doing, header equals to f dot read line. Okay. So there is nothing but first line, which is header. Okay. Now later on, what we should be doing, we should be creating an empty dictionary. So let me create an empty dictionary. And then we should be looping through the each line, right? Could add this. Loop through the each line. How do you do it? We do it for line in F, right? To do it this way, right? For line in F, first thing we should be stripping the data. So line equals to line dot strip. Okay. After that, we should be splitting it. Okay. We split it based on comma because it is a CSV file. Okay, they mentioned the score has something like R3, 20, column 60. Right? So we'll do that. So basically now what does this give? Line is a list now, right? Line is a list with two elements, right? First is name. Second element is score. So now all I need to do is I just need to create a key value pair with the first element and second element, right? So I can directly do it this way. Right, this is the key. Line of 0 is the key. Line of 0 is the name, which is going to be the key. And then what is going to be the value? Value is going to be line of 1. Okay. the important thing to notice here is we should be converting this to an integer. Okay, should be converting this part to integer because this 20, 60, 25, those are all integers, right? And then while we are reading it, that we taken as a string, but we need to be converting that to integer. Okay, so that is all we need to do. Now we created the key value pair. Now and after we'll return the dictionary. Okay. You can close it, close, and then we'll return the dictionary. Okay. Clear? Is this clear? What I've done?
Sir, I want to share one concept.
Okay. Yeah, what do you want to share?
Sir, could you show the code again?
Yeah.
The
Thank you,
first
sir.
line, how we have removed the first line in which how we have done?
We did this f dot read line, right? I have told that when we do this f dot read line, by default the pointer is going to move to the, since we already read the first line, we'll shift our it is the pointer will go to the next line. Okay, so that is how we ignore the header. Okay.
And if there are two header lines or three header lines, we require to read it thrice.
Yeah, then you need to do it like twice, thrice. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, suppose there is a list L with some numbers or characters or words, whatever may be, but there is so many duplication. Okay. Suppose some character or word, there are some duplication. Then I convert the list into set. Set means there is no duplication.
Yes.
Suppose L is equal to set of S is equal to set of L. I can write.
Yeah.
Then again I convert that particular set into another list, like
Yeah.
L2 is equal to list of S.
Yeah.
It will work or not?
That will work. It will work.
No, I cannot. This concept will not work for my side. I don't know. Can you
Okay.
please try?
Yeah. Oh.
That means we got two lists. From one list, we got two lists, which is without any duplication.
Yeah.
Yes.
This one, right?
No, there
Let
is
me
no
have something like
duplication. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then you convert it into set.
Yeah.
Then again convert the set into list.
Right.
Then print the list.
I'll print all values. I'll print L. Yes. L1.
Yes.
See, it's working.
Okay.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
I don't know. I applied it for words, set of words, but it will only pick the first character of the word. Yes. Actually, I tried it for some assignments, file-related assignments. There is some set of words in the file. First, I take it through read, f.read. It is converted into list. Then I tried this concept that converted into set, and after that convert it again into list. But it will only pick the first character.
Okay, so let me check now. We have this hello, and then this one.
So some words.
Yeah, these are words, right? These are nothing but words, right? Hello. P Y P O O. This P is removed, right? P is removed twice, and then like O is removed. O is
Yes,
like.
I also face this problem that it will work in the Replit but not work in the test portal. I don't know.
It's working even for this now, right? Even for words it's going to work. I think
It's perfectly okay.
if you could get that code right, just please paste it in chat box. We'll look at it, okay? It should be
Sir,
working.
can you please explain the question of GRPA 3 because I cannot properly understand the question.
We have this file name is a CSV file that has a following one. Name, country, goals, the first 5 lines of sample. Okay, they give a sample to it. It contains name, country.
P1, P2 is the name of the individual player or number of player from that country.
Yeah, it is a player, right? It is a
only
player.
one player. P2 means only one player or two player in from Argentina.
P2 means player 2. P3 means player 3. Okay. Write a function and get goals that accepts a file name and the name of country as arguments. It should return the tuple having 2 elements, number of players and the number of goals. So basically, yes. For example, here we have this Brazil, right? Let's say the argument is Brazil. Okay.
Yes.
Like if the
number of players should be 2. Brazil,
yeah, number of players
should be 2.
And the number of goals should be 20 plus 50,
50 plus 20, 70.
Okay, but then this is just a sample. The actual data will be bigger. You should just loop it like until the end of the file. Okay, clear?
Okay.
Just look at it here. Like
if
Brazil, we have this
not match with the expected output. That's why I queried to you. 4 and 105. How?
Can I repeat?
Actually, in the test case, there is a Brazil. The parameter is Brazil, and expected output is 4 and 105. I just match with the example which is given already, but for my perception, it should be 2 and 70. That's why.
Yeah, it could be 2 and 70. This is the entire data, but then there will be extra data also, right?
Okay.
That is why the number.
That's why I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regarding earlier output, sir, when we have given that hello as the first element in the list, and in the set, if you take y is the first element that has been coming out, sir. Is it will be always that kind of randomly selection kind of thing in the set, sir? While converting.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat? You're talking about the elements of the list.
The earlier what you have given the elements kind of thing, sir. First is hello, next is P O O Y in between kind of thing, sir.
Okay, here this one.
Repeat, yeah, you're here, sir. And when it comes to the set kind of thing, Y is the first element, and next hello, and next the other items in that one in the set, sir. So in the list what we have given in L.
The elements in a set, right? They are not ordered, so you not have to worry about that.
That's okay, sir. But randomly it will be there, or some
every time if we print it, it shows various results.
Right. So thank you.
I don't think so, but then let's run it. It's going to have only Y at the starting.
That is my question, sir. Any specific sequence we can expect, or just like that we need to take it's a random incident?
It's like even if there is sequence, we not have to worry about it, because anyway we will not be able to index the elements of a list, right? Okay, so all we can do is we can just check whether a particular element is there or not in a set. Okay, and then we can just we can just loop through the elements of a set, okay, but we cannot we cannot call a particular element by the index, right? For example, we cannot call s of 0, okay, that doesn't work, so it is okay, I guess.
So if needed, actually the second list L1 should be sorted out, and we can index it. That could be one solution. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope the CRPA3, the question is also clear. So we'll move on to PPA5. File name points to a name that contains n-cross-n matrix. The ith line of file represents the I-1th row of matrix. Okay. As a sequence of comma separated integers, we have zero-based indexing here. Okay. It does not have header and has exactly n lines. Task is to return the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Write a function name get matrix that accepts a file name. Okay. This are you not able to do it? Like where are you finding difficult? This is just exactly similar to how you do it. Like you accept a input, right? That is you accept like n number of lines, right? And then like convert each of those lines, you split it, and then like convert each of the value also to integer. The same thing you'll be doing here, but then instead of that, instead of like splitting it line by line, here also you'll do it line by line, but then you use a file to get the row values, right? Is this clear? Like what I was trying to say? The problem of 5, right? Like is there any like specific point like where you want me to explain? PPA5 we can explain. Otherwise, I think this should be solvable.
Yeah, it's solvable, sir. We have seen the solution also.
Yeah, that too. Like I was saying like solvable because we have seen the similar problems before, right? We know how to accept a matrix, right?
Yeah. While the earlier concept is different, and we are dealing files right now. So
yeah.
Any extra care should be taken while retrieving the data, kind of thing. I just wanted to inquire. That's all.
Okay. So one thing is that you need to use a strip. Okay, whenever you are accessing this file thread, whenever you're reading the lines, it's always better to use a strip, because like when you're reading each line, it's going to become 1, 2, 3, comma slash n. 1, 2, 3 slash n. Okay, that slash n that should be removed for each line. So it's always better to strip the line. Okay, strip the line, and then after that you can do like generally how we do it previously. Okay. Clear? Yeah. Okay. So you said that until PPA7 it is all right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we move on to PPA8 then. The name of class of students and all, they gave a CSV file, scores of class of students, name, gender of that person, CT score, Python score, PDSC score. The name of the file is given as a variable file name. Write a function named improvement which accepts the file name as argument. It should return the students whose score have increased across 3 courses.
Okay. I have a question here. Actually, it is mentioning CSV file and TXT file. Is there any difference except while writing, calling that one, we are calling that, right?
Yeah. So, the CSV file, right? One important distinction is that whatever values we have, those are like separated by comma. Okay, that is the only distinction, right? We have a CSV file. That's it. It is just you could consider it kind of like a text file only. It doesn't matter. But then keep this in mind that the values are separated by comma in a single line. Okay. If you keep that in mind, that is totally fine. Okay.
Right.
And also a point, sir. We can open a CSV file in Excel, Notepad, Word, anything.
Yeah. since you're directly having it separated by comma, and then like you are having the section of CSV file, it directly like converts that to a table. Okay, using this Excel and Google Sheets. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to this question, right? Here, what you could do is we need to return the number of students whose scores are in this order, right? CT is less than, Python is less than, PDSA, right? So here, like we do before, we just need to like loop through the each line of the file, right? For each line, we'll get the scores, right? That is, we can ignore the name and gender. Like we just need to get the CT, Python, PDSA scores, and then we need to check whether this is valid or not. This is valid, we'll increase the count by 1, and at the end we'll like return the total count. Is this clear what I was trying to say? PP8. Should we solve it, or shall we move on to the next problem?
Sir, I think it's better we solve it, otherwise understanding does not count.
Okay, you want to solve it?
Yes.
Okay, so you can try solving this in 5 minutes, and then 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll look at the solution. Okay. Try solving this problem.
Sir, always when I want to use strip function in the portal, it will restrict and generate error.
Strip.
Yes.
Strip works in the portal. Can you share your screen? Others solve the PP8 problem.
No, actually, it's related to graded assignment. I cannot share.
Okay, it is related to graded assignment. Actually, it works. It works. I think the error could be of something else. Okay, it's not related to that strip one. Check for the lines before and after that. Okay. Solve this problem and then we'll get solution. So shall we look at solution? Shall we look at the solution?
Yes, sir.
So the thing which we had done previously, right? I'll just copy that code because we just want to read the file, right? So I'll remove the dictionary part, but the remaining one I just copy. So I do not want to have dictionary. Dictionary is not open. Okay, so here I could do this also, right? Name, comma, gender, comma, city, Python, PDS equals to line dot strip dot split. This I can do, right? Am I correct?
So that gives us a list. Can we specify variables to each of the elements of the list?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sir, cannot understand the syntax.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Name, gender, city.
Let me just check that. So I equals to, for tuple it works. I'm not entirely sure for this. A, B, C equals to L. Okay, it works. Okay, it does work. So since we know that this line, right, it has 5 elements, right? It has 5 elements, that is its name, gender, city, Python, PDSA. Okay, I'm directly assigning the first value to name, second element to gender, third element to city, Python, PDSA. Okay.
How can I guess that line is a tuple?
No, it is not a tuple, it is a list. It is a list, but then we could still do this for list. Okay.
Okay, okay. Line dot strip dot split.
I mean, this split, right? It gives a list, right? This is a list, but then since the list has only 5 elements, you could directly assign it this way. Okay. Clear?
Okay.
So now you could just do this. If CT score is, check for the integer of it, not directly the string value. Okay. Int of Python, if int of CT is less than int of Python and the Python score should be less than the PDSA. Okay. Then what we'll do, we'll increase the count by 1, right?
But can't we use something like X is less than Y is less than Z kind of thing or here, sir?
Yes, even that can be done. Even that can be done. Okay. And then once we're done, we just return the count. Okay. We check for this. They asked you to return the value, right? Return the number of students, yeah, whose scores have increased, yes. Okay, yes, it works fine. Okay. We want to PPA 9. The same file, yeah. Yes.
Sir, there we had done int of CT is less than int of Python and int of Python is less than int of PDSA. Then if we had done it in just one chain, like, int of CT is less than int of Python is less than int of PDSA, would it still work?
Yeah, it still works.
Sir, surprisingly, I forgot to do the int, and surprisingly, I still passed the public test cases as well as 3 private test cases. Why would that be?
Okay, I'll explain that. So for suppose, let's say, see when we have this, so suppose CT score is something like 1, okay, and then Python score is 2, PDSA score is 3, okay? PDSA score is 3, right? If this is of this form, right? Even if it is a string or an integer, it's going to be the same, okay?
Why so?
Because you compare these 2 strings, right? This one string is less than this 2 is less than this 3.
Okay. As a string, even it's less.
It compares of each first character, okay? 1 is less than 2, 2 is less than 3, right? But then if somehow the CT score is 1, sorry, let's say 10, okay, and then Python score is 9, okay, and PDSA is let's say 99, okay?
Yes.
According to this, I mean, ideally this should not be counting. I mean, this should not be included in the count. But then, if you just do not do this integer now, it's going to be, it's going to think that CT score is less than Python is less than PDSA because 1 is less than 9. Okay, it just checks the first character. If the first character is equal, then it checks the second character, and so on. It moves on. Okay.
Okay.
Clear? That is how
Yes.
luckily you are able to pass few tests.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I mean, what's going to happen is you're going to forget. Sometimes we forget that we forget to do this, and then we think that our public test cases are passing. Why are we not able to pass private test cases?
Yes.
And two, why few are not able to get passed? You know, so that happens. It's always better to think of like whether we are actually comparing the data types properly or not. Okay, that it should be taken care.
Yes.
So now we have this PPA9, the same data, I mean the similar kind of data file, sequence number. Okay, we have this extra one, sequence number we have, name, gender, C2, Python, PDSA, it's the same. Contents of file will be increasing amount of sequence number. Write a function extra class that accepts the file name as argument in the function. Look for all the male students who have scored at least 70 marks in Python. Copy these files to a new file called python.csv. Okay. And then it should do not have to accept the input. You just have to return the function definition. Okay, here you need not even like return anything. All you need to do is you need to create this python.csv file, and then like you need to add those lines for which the students are male and then they got 70 marks, 70 or more marks. Okay, clear? This, how do we do it? We just check for the score just like we do it previously, but then what you could do here is that is we did this. Okay, so let's say here we are checking for this, right? Instead of this, if int of Python is greater than 70 and the gender, right, and the gender equals to m, then we will append, I mean then we will write that particular line to the file. Okay, clear? The same if condition will use, but then with a different small modifications. You could see it here actually. I'm not, we're not going to solve this because it's almost similar. Okay. We just, this first file name, we need to be reading it. The second one, we need to create this Python.csv file, and then that should be in a write mode because we want to add lines to it. Okay. And then we get this Python and gender value. We check whether the gender is equal to M. And if the Python score is greater than 70, then only we'll write that particular line. Okay. Clear?
Sir, why don't we have to strip the header?
Why do we have to strip this one?
No, why don't we strip the header?
Strip the header.
Yeah, why don't we do it? Why don't we strip the header?
If you do not do the stripping of, if you do the stripping of header, right, what's going to happen is, let's say our value is something like sequence number, comma, like name and so on we have, right? And so on, and then what do we have? We have this Python, right? Python /n, this will be the first line. Am I correct? This will be the first line.
Yes.
If I strip it, what's going to happen is it's going to append just this value. Okay. And then when you append this line, that is like when you write this line, okay. When you write this line, the first line it will come just after this one. If you strip it, right, the first line will be like, the header will be merged with the first line. You didn't get what I was saying?
Yeah, that means they will not be on a next line.
Yeah, so suppose, let's say I need to append this 1 comma, let's say something like Karthik, and then some scores, okay, 90, it will not be this, it will be just this, there won't be quotes, 90, 20, and then 100, right? Ideally it should be appearing in a different line, but then since you are stripping it, it will be something like this. It will be like this. Okay. Clear?
But we are not also putting any, we're stripping the next subsequent lines and we're not putting a /n. Then won't all these, scores of each of these.
They are not stripping it. They are not stripping it. Like, let's say we are stripping it just to equate it to L. This line L, right? This line is not modified. This line still has the /n.
Okay. Oh, okay. We didn't strip we're not printing we're printing the line as it is. We're just stripping it so that we can split it.
Yeah. So so that we could split it and equate it to L. Okay. Suppose if I have done this, then first of all we can't append this because line itself is not a string. Okay. Forget about the strip part. We can't even append it. We can't even write it because it's not a string. Okay.
Oh, we can't write the list now.
No, if you can't be directly writing it as a you can't directly write a list, right? You need to use this.
You to iterate through the line, the elements of the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Sir, what about the 16th line, sir? 16th line. It is different. Yeah, actually, it is a list which we are referring. In the earlier program, we directly made assignment.
Yeah, in the earlier problem, we directly. See, here what we are doing is we are just using that line to get to convert it to a list so that we could use a particular element. That is, I just want the Python score, right, and then I want the gender, right. So that alone we check. Okay. So to get those values, I'm splitting it.
But in previous program, we kept gender, CT, Python, everything we wrote.
Yeah. Even here also you could do it like this. For suppose, let's say, here you could do something like sequence number, comma. The next one is name, I guess. Name, gender, Okay, comma CT Python VDSA. Okay.
Sir, sequence number is not there. Name, gender, and
I think in this file the sequence number is there. Okay, sequence number is there. I've converted this Python score to int of Python because I need that to be the in an integer, right? To compare. Okay. So you could see here we have the sequence number 2. Okay.
right, sir, right.
I could do even that here, like we did previously also. We could do it here also. Okay. Even
Sir, in the
yes.
sir, in the second file, if we open it in append mode, would it make a difference?
Append line.
The second file, the python.csv file, instead of write, if we use append, or open that file in append mode.
Open the file and then what?
In append mode, instead of W, we write A. Would
Okay,
that make
the
a
append
difference?
mode, yeah. So there, what's gonna happen is, for suppose, let's say, if the file is already suppose if the file is already existing, right, then it's going to add the extra lines to it. But then we do not want, we do not know where, first of all, whether we have this, whether we already have the file or not. Okay, but then all we need to, even if it is there, we want it to be empty, right? So that is why we want, we open it in the write mode, not the append mode. Okay. This is clear what I was trying to say?
So we can open an empty file in append mode, no?
Yeah, but then that could give you to the wrong answer. Okay. All right, so let's move on to PPA 10. PPA 9 is clear, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So sometimes these two respond because I think that I lost the connection. Okay. So we have this next function. We need to write this numbers grid that accepts two positive integers m and n as arguments. We need to create a number grid.csv file. Write the first m and n integers into the file in the following way. If m equals to 5, n equals 3. Okay, this is like creating a matrix. You remember when we just take an example of 3x3 matrix? By default, we think of it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So you can think of it like this way, right? We're kind of like creating an m-cross-n matrix. Okay, so that is why since each row will have like n values, that is a column number of values. Okay, it will be having this, the first line will have this n values, second line will have n values, and so on for m lines. Okay, is it clear what I was trying to say? Hello.
Yes.
Clear, right?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So this too can be done, right? Am I correct? This can be done, right? Hello. Can be done? Will be done?
Yeah, sir. But we'll write.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
clear.
Okay. So try solving this. After 5 minutes, we look at the solution.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, how can, is there any function that how can I check that particular key in the dictionary is present or not? How can I check?
You can just call, like, suppose, let's say, whichever key you're talking about, right? If key in D, if it returns true, then that means that key is there. Otherwise, it is not there. Okay. For example,
If the dictionary is D, then D dot keys.
like, okay, let's say D equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Here the keys
Yes.
are 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, right?
1, 3, 5.
Yeah. So here you could check like this. If one in D, okay.
In general, how can is there
Yeah,
any?
you could check this way. Key in D, right? Let that key be 1, right? Print.
Sir, there is a function in the lecture. I found that dot keys, dot values, dot items.
Yeah. D dot keys, right? You're talking about D dot items. Yeah. D dot items. D dot items, or is it like D dot keys? I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, we have that. We have a function also. You could check like if key in D
It will
dot
return the list of keys.
right. It won't exactly
D
be
dot
the
keys
list.
and D dot values.
Uh-huh.
D dot keys and D dot values, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I am sharing one concept that if key is present, then I will increment the value of that particular key. Otherwise, there is no option. Actually, how can I do this?
This we normally do, right? That is,
Suppose 1, 3, and 5 are the keys in that present dictionary. Okay.
Okay.
If
We have
1, 3, or 5 is present, then I am going to increase to. If 1 is present, then 2 plus 1, 3. If 3 is present, then 4 plus 1, 5, like this.
Yeah. See, we could do this, right? If key in D of key plus equals to 1.
Okay. D key is equal to D. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So try solving this PPA 10. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So let me know when you're done so that we can start the problem. We can solve the problem. Okay.
Sir, this M and N will be input itself. We don't have to accept that as input, but then do we have to accept each line as an input?
No, these are the lines which we should be writing based on M and N. Right? The only input which we have is M and N. Okay. I mean that too we should not be accepting because they will be passed as arguments. Okay.
Yes.
So
And these
basically,
they should be consecutive numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yeah. There is a pattern. This is a pattern based on the values of M and N. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, got it.
So, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if we cannot take any input from the console or from the user, how we would use methods of write or append, etc.
Write or append that part?
Yes, sir. We have created a file numgrade.csv. Now we have to write in this particular file these digits like 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the problem is saying that we do not have to accept input from the console. So how can we write a function definition like this? Means I'm little confused about this.
Like we do not have to accept input. Okay, that is okay.
Yes, sir.
How can we write what?
So the file is empty. To how can we fill these digits of like for example we are given 5 and 3. How can we fill these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if we cannot accept any input?
Okay. So let me give an example. Suppose there's nothing given to you. Okay, there is this M and N given to you. Okay, so if this is the case, then what should be happening is your file should be something like this: 1, 2, 3, and so on. N. Okay. Second line of your file should be n plus 1, n plus 2, and so on to n. Okay. Similarly, you keep on doing this until you have this. What to do this? It will be m minus
Sir, totally m rows.
what?
M rows.
It's going to be It's going to be mn minus n plus 1, comma mn minus n plus 2, comma mn minus 3 plus mn minus n plus 3, and so on mn. Okay, so basically you'll continue until this. Okay, for you to do this, all you need is the value of m and n, right?
Yes, sir.
That is passed as argument of the function. So you do not have to accept any other input, right?
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, got it, sir.
Sir, shall I share my screen? I didn't got it.
You are not able to pass all test cases?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. We'll just wait for 2 minutes and then we'll discuss solution. After that we can share the screen. Okay, so shall we discuss solution? No? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So first thing we'll create a file. So equals to open of file name should be num grid, right? Right? Number grid. Num grid. Okay. And then we should do find range of m. Okay, find range of m. Look at what I'll try to do. Let me create a temporary list called L equals to L equals to I should be having from 1 to n plus 1 to 2n and so on, right? So it should be something like 0 star n. It's going to give me the elements 0 elements with like 0, like it's going to be 0 0 and so on n times. So basically it has like n elements, right? So for right now, what should be the my elements? It should be something like for j in range of 10, okay, L of j should be equals to, let me do it this way directly. we do not have this, I'll directly write the value. Okay, I mean I'll directly append the value to the. I'll directly write the value to the f. Okay, so for for j in range of n, what should be this value? I mean, what should be the value which I should be appending or like writing? It should be str of
m cross n.
Not exactly m cross n. Should be I star m, right? Plus j plus 1. Am I right? See, for suppose initially I will be 0, right? I will be 0, right? When I is 0, this entire value will be 0, right? And then for j in range of n, j value ranges from 0 to n minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So then what I should be appending? I should be appending in the first iteration 1, second iteration 2, 3, 4, and so on n, right? So this will be taken care by this j plus 1. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can't we take the range from 1 to 1 plus m and 1 to 1 plus n, and then we can directly multiply I into j?
Can you repeat?
Sir, I was saying that if we can take the range for I from 1 to m plus 1, currently we are taking from 0 to m, we can take 1 to 1 plus m. M
1
plus
to
1.
1 plus n.
M plus 1.
Okay. M plus 1. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And for
And then-
n, we will take 1 from 1 to n plus 1.
Okay.
And then we will be multiplying I into j. So it wouldn't we have a case of taking care. I cross. Yes, sir. I was saying that would it be right?
Are you sure about this? Because
Yes, sir.
initially it's going to be 1, right?
Yes, sir. And then
If it's
for
going to be
each-
1,
Yes, sir.
if it's going to be 1, it works fine. If it's going to be 1, you'll be appending 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on n. Okay. But then let's take the case of m equals to 2. Okay. I mean, I equals to 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
When I equals to 2, what will you be appending? You'll be appending 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, right? But then what you should be appending is, you should be appending m plus 1, m plus 2, m plus 3, and so on to m.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. You should be appending n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, and so on to n. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? So I star j will not work. So it should be something like str of. I mean, let's have it like from 0 itself, 0 to m. I'll explain that in a bit. Why exactly 0? I star n plus j. Now this will work, right? Initially for the first iteration, I will be 0. So this j value will take from 1 to n. That works fine. In the second iteration, I mean in the second value of I, that is I equals to 1, this will be n plus 1 to 2n. Okay. In the when I equals to 2, it will be 2n plus 1 to 3n. It will be 3n plus 1 to 4n, and so on. It will go until mn. Okay. Am I clear? For this formula, in plus a. Is that clear? No?
Sir, I was just verifying. I was confused why we are multiplying I into n.
Sir, instead of write, we require to do append, f dot append.
We are writing it, right? It should be right. It should not be append.
We are not appending a list.
Yeah, we are just writing it to the file. It's not a list, right? Okay. And that too, one of the important thing is for the, for the last element of the last element here, right? We should be ending with, let me do this, plus comma. There should be this comma, right? That is 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma, right? The comma should be added. So that is why I'm doing it right of in plus j, that is I'm converting that to str plus comma. Okay, I'm adding the comma also. Okay, I will add the comma until the last element, that is I need to be having this 1 comma 2 comma 3 and so on, this last element of each row, right? Or let's say each line.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, when we are at the last element, right? Then we should not be adding this comma. We should be adding slash n, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So it should be something like I star n plus n, okay, plus slash n, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Then f dot goes.
Sir, can we also do comma and is equal to?
Comma?
Yeah. Over here, can we write and is equal to?
I did not get you.
To add this comma at the end,
Yeah.
can we write instead of plus, can we write end is comma and is equal to?
End equals to, the end does not work here, right? That end is for the print function.
Print only.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, got
See,
it.
here instead of this, what you can do is you just write like some value equals to, okay, str of I star n plus a plus comma you could write, and then you could do this. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
got
it
it.
is the same thing. I'm just writing
Yeah.
in two different lines. Okay.
Much
Yes.
cleaner.
Yes.
Let me run this to check if there are any errors. It works. Right. We look at this PP11 and then we'll close the session, because PP12 it's not that difficult. Okay. But we look at PP11. Course data set is a list of dictionaries whose entries are given below. Write a function and collection to file that accepts the course data set as argument. Within a function, okay, you need to create the CSV. So basically, we should be converting the dictionary to the list of dictionaries to a file. Okay. PP11, is the problem statement clear? Is it clear? Problem statement. Suppose you have list equals to something like this, comma, like this we'll have so many dictionaries. Okay, each element of the list is a dictionary. Okay, suppose here sequence number is 0, right? Here let me just change it to 1, name to Dev. Okay, your sequence number 2, name to maybe Devi, gender female. Okay, so basically here we have like list of dictionaries. Okay, so and then for this particular file we should be having the header. Okay, the file should have header. The header should be sequence number, name, gender, city, mathematics, physics, chemistry. Okay, that should be the header. What should be the first line after that? It should be 0, Devika, Bengaluru, mathematics score 85, 100, 79. The line after that it should be 1, Dev, M, Bangalore, 85, 100, 79. Is it clear? What I was trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So basically we should be having this keys, right? Key should be the header, and then each of the values right later. Those should be the lines later on. Okay? Clear? Try doing this. Or else, since we do not have time, let me give you the idea of like how to do it. This is like this appears tricky, but then it is just like bunch of big steps. Okay, the idea is not difficult. Implementation part, it could be little difficult because you could be doing some small errors. Okay, this course data set is a dictionary, right? So first of all, I need to create a file, right? Open.
कनेक्ट का तो कोई चक्कर नहीं है, कुछ पहले सारी वाली लैब करने वैसे तो कुछ नहीं है।
I'm sorry, can I repeat? Hello.
तो कैसा सारी
You should be writing this course.csv, right? Should be in the writing mode. Okay. And then for the first of all, we should be getting header, right? For key in course, no, for key, because each element in course dataset is a dictionary, right? But course dataset itself is a list. Let's say D1, right? D1 is the first dictionary. How do you get the first dictionary? You get it by indexing. Since course dataset is a dictionary, is a list, course dataset of 0, it will give a dictionary because course dataset is a list of dictionaries. Okay. Now, how do I get the header for key in D1? Because D1 is a dictionary. Okay. For key in D1, what do I do? Or else another way will be you can just directly copy this, since that will be the header. Okay, and then f dot write this entire value plus /n. Okay, clear?
Sir, we just copied from the problem statement.
Yes, because we should be having header, right? Course.csv should be having the following header. Basically, that should be the first line. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Is that okay? And then what do I do for dictionary D in course dataset? Okay, course dataset. Now, what do I need to be getting is I should be getting the name. Should be getting sequence number, comma name, comma what I think should be getting gender. Basically, I should be getting all these values, right? City, mathematics, I'll just represent by M, P, C. Okay. This should be equal to. Can I repeat?
M31 आपका.
It might not be related to RC.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you properly.
It may not be related to our program, sir.
Okay. So this is a dictionary, right? So this D is a dictionary, right? And then what are the keys for the dictionary? Those keys are nothing but the sequence number, name, gender, city, mathematics, right?
Okay.
This if it's not related to this, please note this
Setting
down.
app, tab Google.
So this should be D of sequence number. Okay. Or else let's do directly this way, okay? Since we know that the line should be having the sequence number, name, gender and all, right? So the line will be something like D of sequence number plus, but D of sequence number is a integer, right? I'll convert that to string, str. Yeah, plus, comma, plus, and then I need to have the name of it. So it will be D of name. Okay, I'm writing the entire line. Okay, I'm writing it as a like string so that I'll write it later. Plus D of gender. Gender is already a string, so we not convert it. D of city is also a string, so I'm not converting that.
Next week plan करेंगे
This these
They are not aware of it, sir.
Mathematics. Mathematics plus and so on, like just repeat this plus D of physics. You should be careful with the spelling of keys, okay? If the keys spelling doesn't match, then it's going to give you error that there is no such key. Okay. And at the end it should be /n. Okay. So we have written this line. Now we just need to append this line to not append, we should write that line to this F. Okay. So all we need to do. Okay. So what I have done, this thing is I have written this header one. After that, for each dictionary, for D in the score sheet set, which basically means for each dictionary in the score sheet set, I took those values. That is, I took the sequence number, I took the name, I took the gender. Okay. I took the gender, I took the city value. Okay. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, each of those values I have taken.
Sir,
And then,
shouldn't the mathematics and all this be also converted to string?
yeah, right.
Not this one, mathematics.
Yeah. Mathematics, physics, and chemistry should be converted to string.
So in this code, the last line of in the file will also have /n.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you are right. So it should be something like until the last one, right? So it should be this. Until the last one, we'll have this. Okay. We will include all the elements of the list. That is all the dictionaries except the last dictionary. Okay. For the last dictionary, what we could do is line equals to Anyone?
Sir, in the dictionary, key will not repeat. Is it right or wrong?
Yeah, in the dictionary, key will not repeat. We will take the last dictionary now, and then we'll do this. And we'll remove the slash n. Okay. Let me just check if there are any errors. Plus. I think we are good. Yeah, we are good. Okay. Why we did that for last line? Pratik, for the last line, right? We do not want the slash n. We do not want the slash n to be there for the last line. Okay. That is why we remove that only. I mean, we did all this just to remove the slash n. Okay. Okay. So that's it.
Sir, what does the fourth line will do? That sequence number and name, right? You are doing, so it is like header.
Yeah, it is a header. It kind of says like this is going to be my first line, because we have never returned this values, right? I mean, we have never returned this header values. Now here, once we get into the dictionary, we are only looking at those values. That is, we'll only get this sequence number value, right? That is 0, something like Devika F, Bengaluru and all we'll get, right? But then we need to having this also, right? We need to have the header also along with the values. Am I making sense? No?
So it will be in a dictionary or what? So
which one? First one?
Yeah, first one will be in the dictionary included.
F dot, right? This one?
Yes, sir.
This is a string, right? Because
yes, I can understand, but I'm little confused here. If we write this part, so that you are making dictionary, na, sir?
I'm not making it a dictionary. I'm just writing it to the file. F.
Okay.
I already have a dictionary. I need to use the dictionary to get the values and thereby write the lines.
Sir, it's like metric.
It's like the ulta. Like, for example, okay, here.
Sir, can you show? Yeah.
Okay, here we need to get it this way. Okay, I need to get it like sequence number physics chemistry.
So already header is there, na, sir? It's like header we are writing there.
Yeah. So just to write that header, I have written it this way. Okay.
Okay.
And remaining.
Sir, in a way, we are doing it reverse of what we did earlier. Yeah, we had the CSV file and we were reading like this, the CSV file. Now we're converting it into a CSV file, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, sir. Sir, if I write for key in D, then automatically it will access only the keys from dictionary.
Yeah. It just loop through the keys in the dictionary. If you do that for key in D.
Sir, keys or key?
It's up to you, right? For key, I mean, whatever you're naming that value, right? That is like for key in D or like for keys in D or for K in D. That is just your nomenclature, okay? But then it will be better.
Only the keys, not the value.
Yeah, it will only be the keys. That to the specific key for each iteration. Here I'm not looping through the keys. I directly know that these are my keys. That is why I directly took those key names, okay, to get the values. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Just look at the last question.
Sir, what did we return in the 11th one?
We did not return anything. We just closed that.
Sir, I noted also even in the 9th one, we didn't return anything. I mean, it's a bit confusing for me because so far we have been always returning something in the function.
Yeah. So, but then here we just need to create the file, right? So that is why we did not return anything. Okay.
Just the creation of the file is in a way returning something.
Yeah. Because you're just creating that file, right? That kind of like means that you did something.
Okay.
If it is just going to be the list dictionary or something, then we will ask you to return.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually cannot manage the concept that if some words in the list and the words are always in the key of the dictionary and it is repeating in the list, then how can I count the frequency? Actually cannot manage that in programming.
Okay, so you're saying that there are some words in a list.
Suppose A, comma, C, C, comma, D, D like this. And A, C, or D are the dictionary keys.
Dictionary keys?
Then I have to count the frequency and put the value in that dictionary.
Okay. So you're saying that each of those distinct values, they will be the keys, and then the frequency of those value in the list, those will be the value. That can be done easily, right? See, we were talking about the set, right? Okay, what you could do is first you could convert the list to set, so that you'll get the you will get the unique values of the list. So each of those unique values should be the key of the dictionary, right?
I manage that that part, but cannot actually. What can I say? That if the key is matched with the list, then I should increase that particular value. I will not.
What you could do
catch
is
up the particular syntax.
So I'll just say, like, we'll just do one way better. What we will do is you converted the list to set, right? Okay, you converted the list to set. So each value in the set will anyway be the element in the list, correct?
I am trying this concept, but it will not work.
Okay, so you're saying that I have some.
Let her share the screen now.
Yeah, okay, let me just do this. That's okay. You have this, let's say 5, 5, 5, okay? Right? I need the unique values, right? Set of L. And then I'll create an empty dictionary. Okay. What will be the keys for the dictionary? Those will be the elements in S, right?
Yes.
For element in S, right? D of
LM equal to 0 something.
Yeah, instead of equating it to 0, you could do directly this, right? L dot count of LM. So directly works, right? That's what you want to do now. You just want to count the number of occurrence of this element in the list here. To directly do it this way. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. That's one of the both diagonals and zeros. Okay. This you could try. Right? This you could try.
Yes.
5812. Okay. Like if it has been identity, it would have been like very straightforward. They're just mentioning like diagonals, two diagonals, right? Like here, if one is there at the start, one should be there at the end also. All right. If it is there at the second place, it should be there at the second place from the last. Okay. This is this. I mean, in this way, we have this left diagonal and right diagonal both. Okay. This can be done. So try doing this. And then if you are not able to do this, you could discuss it still in the discourse or in the next live session. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.
From my end. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.